Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively taking the Maryland Crab Cake Tour on the road. We will be at Far and Dodder and Curio Wellness, and our friends over there have a mystery crab cake coming next Friday, too. I'm looking forward to that. Well, we will have some scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery at the Peppermint Payouts. We had a bunch of winners for the Peppermint Payouts over at State Fair on Tuesday morning with Bill Cole. We had some illness hit the WNST family this week. A lot of people sick and COVIDed up, so be careful out there when you're doing that. Our friends at Window Nation also putting us on the road next week, 866-90 Nation, and Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. Put us on the road last week. We were at Coco's on Wednesday. We were at Gertrude's on Thursday with Dan Rodricks and Odette Ramos and John Shields and the folks at the BMA. And then on Friday, we were up at Hollywood Casino, where I swore I was going to get right. I didn't taunt you about your picks, but I mean, for crying out loud, last week it was going to go one way or another. Christian Horton is the sportsbook manager of all things casino gaming up there and sportsbook wagering. And you want to bet golf, you got to see Christian. You want to bet football, I'll tell you what, you want some advice on football, see him, don't see me. I have fallen below 500 with my lousy 5-8 weekend in week 13. We're making the picks a little earlier here this week. I'm talent off, dude. I don't know what to make of this league, right? What do we say about the Chiefs at this point? What do we say about the Eagles when they lose? What do we say about the Ravens who haven't played in 2 weeks? I don't know what I'm going to get this week, so I'm just going to make the picks blind again this week. And meanwhile, you're on fire, dude, right? You're killing me.
Oh, well, no, not last week. I went 4-9 last week. I did pretty bad myself. Definitely got beat up a few times, but yeah, no.
You
What
keep
would you
picking
say?
the Patriots, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's killing me. That is killing me. That's definitely killing me. But yeah, what I would say about those teams losing is you see it every NFL season. Deep in the season, it gets harder and harder. Like I said, it's any given Sunday, any Sunday. So you're going to see a few upsets, especially the Kansas City losing. I knew that, but I didn't see Jacksonville losing last night. That was a surprise.
Well, you're convinced that a team stinks like the Bengals, right? I mean, Luke was shoveling dirt on them, right? And it really is like a drama. It's like watching a soap opera where the Steelers now lose their quarterback, and then Flacco, he's old and he can't play. Oh my God, look at him throw it, and then they lose anyway. And he didn't play that. He played well. He played well enough for them to win. Their defense doesn't look good. I mean, all these things you think you know at Halloween, once we start getting the eggnog out up at the Hollywood Casino in Perryville, we don't know anything. So let's see what we know here this week. I know the Patriots stink. I think Bill Belichick's at the end of the road, right? I mean, you're a fan of the team. You think it might be a transplant time. And yet the Steelers are 6-point favorites at home, and I don't know anything about them except that they find ways to win, except they look god-awful against the Arizona Cardinals. They couldn't even keep the teams on the field with the storm going on. I mean, the whole thing about that game last week with them was weird.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. No, it was weird for sure, but it wasn't surprising. Arizona's a talented team. Pittsburgh not so much. They're struggling offensively. I knew they were going to struggle to score. But Arizona jumped on them quick, and like you said, the storm came on, and there was a delay for 2 hours. So that set things back. And then they lost their quarterback, so it was a disaster for recipe there. But I like New England on this one, especially with like I said, they don't have Kenny Pickett. We're both in backup quarterback mode, so it's kind of a toss-up game. So to say that New England's not a touchdown favorite is a little weird. So I'm gonna take the +6.
Short rest at home. I'm going to take the Steelers on this one, and I hope you have a good time with that because I have to pick against you with that. I'm trying to catch you now at this point. Sunday games: Panthers and the Saints. Pretty sure the Panthers were a bad team, right? And they hung around a little bit. Saints at 5.5 at home. I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
Yeah, no, I like the Saints on this one too. Like I said, I'm just going to take it off the pedigree of the team. Tough defense there at home. I like Jameson Winston. To change our quarterback, I think is going to help him. So I like the -5.5.
I like Jameis Winston. Most people haven't said that over the course. That's because you didn't bet on him, right? Back in the day.
No, I didn't bet on him back in the day. No, but he's a fun quarterback to watch. He's a kind of gunslinger. Throws it around a little bit. He's fun to watch. So it's a good time.
Well, as long as it's not your team, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
what difference does it make? We'll do the Ravens game last, even though it's pretty high on the agenda and they're a 7-point favorite. Colts, a point favorite on the road in Cincinnati. After what Cincinnati did the other night, is it time to get back on their train? I think so. I'm going to take Cincinnati here, and I'll spread the point against the Colts. I think the Bengals get a little rejuvenated. They have some new life, a little new pep in their step for playoff hopes there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go against you on this one. I like the Colts on this one, just off the pedigree. I like Gardner Minshew. He's he's getting some tough wins. With them. They got an overtime against Tennessee last week, so I like him to come back against Cincinnati and win this.
I thought they were sunk, but nobody's sunk, right? I mean, Buffalo might still be alive. Now Cincinnati's alive. I mean, and as far as the Ravens in this schedule, these 5 games, they're not going 5-0. They're going to lose some games here. I'm wondering who the team is that we think that stunk, maybe like the Bills or somebody like that we've kind of shoveled a little bit of dirt on that comes back to life. Cincinnati feels that they're coming back to life. The Browns, I don't know what to make of them. And we got Jacksonville next week. Jacksonville goes to Cleveland. Joe Flacco is a 3-point favorite at home this week. They haven't even declared him starter earlier in the week, which I thought was a little bit weird. Practice squad and this and that. Maybe it has something to do with his salary. I don't know. But Jacksonville going on the road after what happened to them the other day. I like the Browns here. I'll spread the 3 points. I thought the Browns played pretty well, and I was really shocked at how well Joe Flacco can still throw the football.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one. I'm with the Browns. Like you said, it's going to be Flacco's second week. He's kind of got warmed up after that first week. Kind of got back into the system. So yeah, I like him. I think Jacksonville is going to fall back to earth on this one. I don't think they're as great as predicted in the beginning of the season. So I like Cleveland in their defense shut them down, especially with a backup quarterback.
I woke up the other day. They were 8-3, right? For Jacksonville, we're feeling good about feeling like, we have them next week. They're an underdog on the road to the Browns to Joe Flacco. Like literally, perception of them is that they're pretend for Jacksonville just on the board alone. So we'll see. But the Ravens have to contend with them and go down there and do that next week. Lions 3-point favorite in Chicago. Weather's a factor here everywhere this time of year. Anywhere it's outdoor, anywhere it's cold, dome teams coming out. That always sort of worries me a little bit here. 3 points, not a lot of lead delay. I still want to believe the Lions were as good as they were at the beginning of the year and not what we saw when they came in here to Baltimore 6 weeks ago. But I'll spread the 3 points on the Lions on the road. I still believe they're better than they've ever been. I don't know what that means.
Well, that's a good observation. No, I like Chicago on this one. Fields always in the past 2 seasons, he's gotten better as the season's gone on, and I think this is going to be one of those games that he wins and kind of shows people that he's the quarterback for the future of the Bears. So I like Chicago at home with the +3.
Boy, the Lions are pretend if they can't win a December game in Chicago, right? They're pretenders. They can't beat a bad Chicago team on the road in December. They're not much.
Well, they should be concerned for their playoff hopes for sure. Especially they're going to have to go on the road in the playoffs and win a tough game anywhere. So definitely for sure that would be an eye opener.
I'm going all in on the Detroit Lions. Christian Horton is here. He is with our friends at Hollywood Casino in Perry. We had a great time up there. Had a nice crab cake as well after you departed. We were talking cats with the Chesapeake Feline Association. You could hear all that at Baltimore Positive as well. Christian and I made our picks and ran last week. He is ahead of me on the season. I fell below 500 for the first time. Hanging my head in shame, but trying to get right with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Headed to Atlanta, 2.5-point underdogs. The Falcons at home. I've been down on Baker Mayfield. I know you think he's maybe a little better than I do. I'm going to take the Falcons at home here. I'm going to spread the 2.5 points in the dome.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one too. I like Atlanta at home. This was a tough game to pick because Tampa Bay is actually playing pretty well. They're not that far off from a playoff run, but I like Atlanta just off the pedigree and being home. So I like them with the 2.5 also.
Texans and the Jets, the last 1:00 game. It's not called Ravens and Rams. Texans on the road going up to the Meadowlands, a 5.5-point favorite against the Jets. I believed in the Jets a little bit. I thought there might have been some rally in that defense, and I love C.J. Mosley. I know C.J. from his time here. I root for him. So when I see him out there running around with his crimson hair, I root for him. But I don't believe in them. I believe the Texans are an improving team. I love what D'Amico Ryans has done down there. I love the kid at quarterback. 5.5's a lot of lead on the road. Talk about dome teams coming from warm weather and cold weekend in New York, but I'm going to lay the 5.5, and I'm going to take Houston here. I think they're more for real, and certainly a franchise heading in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you too. I like Houston with the 5.5. This is going to be a game for Houston that's going to see what they're going to do in the future. I think honestly they can make it to an AFC Championship. On one of those runs. You know what I mean? They're a surprising team, and C.J. Stroud's proven it. They lost Tank Dell, one of their big time receivers, but I like Nico Collins a lot, so I like Houston with the 5.5.
If you think the Houston Texans are going to go on a January run, you should go to your own casino and bet that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good. I bet it's great value. It's great value. Better. I mean, you have to understand it's the Bills. The Chiefs are playing bad. The AFC right now is in the toss up. You don't know what the Ravens. Lamar hasn't yet to win that big game yet.
I remember when Blake Bortles went on a run. Right?
He almost beat the Patriots that year. They almost beat the Patriots, and I remember that year. Yep.
Nobody would have bet on Blake Bortles on December the 5th. Trust me, they would not have. Well, that's what you do up there is try to provide some value for people up at Hollywood Casino in Perryville. Please play responsibly if you're going out and doing this. We tell people to slow their roll all the time. We make all the picks here. We do not advise that you bet all the games. Please. Matter of fact, don't bet all the games. Whatever you do, don't bet all of them. 4 o'clock game, Seahawks going on the road to the invincible San Francisco 49. 10.5-point dogs. Boy, they're not respecting the Seahawks here at all. And this is a nasty little rivalry between these two, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It definitely is. But I think whenever you see the Seahawks play, they get pass rushed really, really bad. And with Chase Young out there, you got Bosa out there, different guys out there just attacking them. Fred Warner, I like them with the 10.5. I think they're really gonna beat up on Seattle, and they beat up on Philly last week. So I like seeing Fran to go on this run here, and I like them with the 10.5.
I like the Seahawks to keep it closer. 10.5. Give me the wood. Give me the wood on the road. I'll take 10.5. So give me Seattle in that one. Vikings and the Raiders. Yeah, the Vikings have had all sorts of problems. The quarterback and this and that. They're on the road. They're a 3-point favorite going to Las Vegas here. I'm going to take the Vikings here. I'm not sold on the Raiders. That they found the solution here with the new head coach. I just don't think they have the personnel.
Okay, no, I think they do got a personnel. I think they're just figuring it out. With I think it's a lot of egos getting in check in there, especially with Antonio Pierce helping that. So I like them with the +3. I don't know if they're going to win it, but I think I like them to cover.
I like the Vikings to just win. So 3 is I'll lay the 3. Other 4 o'clock game, and this was like game of the year when it was on the calendar. Now we're trying to figure it out. Bills at Chiefs. Chiefs 2.5-point favorite. Tough game for both of them, and the Bills sort of need it, and the Chiefs sort of want it and need it as well. They're both put themselves in a position to be looking up at the Ravens at this point. I mean, the Bills are playing for their season right now, and they're a 2.5-point dog. I'm going to take the Chiefs because they're at home, and this isn't a big spread. They don't have to win by much for me to win, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs right now.
Okay, no, I'm on the reverse side. The Chiefs have been on a downward spiral. I would say since this whole year. They lost week 1 against the Lions. They're not winning games that they're supposed to win. And Patrick Mahomes is struggling out there. So I like Buffalo with the +2 on this one. I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs finally had that big game.
Broncos, much improved team. I see Sean Payton running around. They had some tough luck over the weekend as well. 3-point dogs going out to L.A. to take on the Chargers. And the Chargers are one of those teams you don't want to bet on them. You don't want to bet. I mean, both of these teams frighten me from a betting standpoint because I never know who's getting out of bed. I'll take the Chargers here with the 3 points. They tend to play a little better later in the year.
Okay, who are the Chargers playing? Sorry.
Chargers are 3 over the Broncos at home.
Broncos, okay, yep. So I'm on Denver on this one. Like I said, I'm a big Sean Payton guy. I'm gonna ride him the whole year. I like him with the +3. They almost squeaked by the Texans. Russell Wilson threw the interception at the end in the end zone. So I like him with the +3 on this one.
No buys this week, but 2 Monday night games, 1 Sunday night game. Eagles going to Dallas, licking their wounds. Dallas, 3.5 points. Not a lot of points here at home. Game of the year if you're a fan of both of these teams, though, right? And I'm going to take Dallas. I'll spread the 3.5 points. I think the Eagles are, set up for a little bit of a fall here based on what happened to them against the 49ers.
Yeah, so originally I had Dallas on this one, and I really, really thought about it, and I said, has Dallas ever won a primetime game? No. So I'm going to switch it back. I'm going to go with Philly on this one. I'm going to go with Philly for a comeback game to shock the Cowboys. I like Philly with the +3.5.
I hope that half doesn't get me wrong. That that 3.5 sometimes make you cry instead of laugh. Christian Horton is here. He is from Hollywood Casino in Perryville. We were there last week. He and I make our fearless predictions. His have been better than mine recently. Monday Night Football, Packers and the Giants, 6.5 to make you laugh. The Packers on the road. Packers, we talk about the Texans being an emerging team getting better as the season going on. Denver was getting better as the season going on. Packers have maybe been the kings of that. 6.5-point favorites going into the Meadowlands, and what the Giants feel like a rollover team. I'm going to take the Packers here. I'm going to buy some love is what I'm going to do.
I like that. I like that. I like Jordan Love too. It's shown he's a good quarterback. They got two rookie receiver or second year receivers in Watson and Dobbs that's playing well. So I like with the 6.5 in the Meadowlands also.
Best sign of the week was Taylor Swift having to look at "It's a Love Story" sign. I thought that was great. That was a really good sign that fan had last week. Titans and the Dolphins. Talk about wood getting laid and where the Dolphins are for scoring points. And the Ravens see them for, we kick off 2024 against them. 13-point favorites, the Dolphins at home against the Titans, like college lines going on here, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. This one jumped out to me. I don't know if Tennessee is that bad, but I'm gonna take them with the +13.5. I think that's just a lot of wood. The Dolphins do score a lot of points, but I also like Will Levis. He has an arm on him, and he's a gunslinger also. He likes to throw it down the field a few times, so he might get us a few touchdowns to cover. So I like the +13.
I had it at 13. Do you have it at 13.5? Really?
I have 13.5. Yep.
Woo, man, 13 not enough. People still leaning on Miami. It's crazy. All right, so now we get to the Ravens here. And you've been, relatively neutral. You picked them, you picked against, you picked them more, pick with them more than you picked against them, certainly. 7 points. It's the right number. I mean, it really makes me think about this number with the Rams and how they've played. I am inclined to take the Rams with 7 points here. I am. I think the Ravens will win, but I don't think any of these games are easy. I think they get harder. I think it gets harder for them to move the ball without Ronnie Stanley. And just the Mark Andrews thing, figuring that out. They're not the same team without Ronnie Stanley, without Mark Andrews, without Marlon Humphrey. And I think Kyle Hamilton's played great. They've had some guys step up. The safeties and the corners have played well in the secondary, and the pass rush has been there. But it's getting a little later. I don't think the Ravens are going to lose. I just think 7's a big number. I'll take the Rams to 7.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one too. I like the Rams also. Week after week, we talk about Aaron Donald, and I think this is another week that he's gonna wreak havoc. The Ravens, the few times I've seen him play the past few weeks, they had trouble with pass rush. So I think Aaron Donald's going to get to him a few times. So I just like with the +7. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they stay in the ballpark.
I've told people this week, I'm like, you want to go see a great player, making an Aaron Donald an argument for him to be the greatest player of the generation on defense. I mean, there was Revis for a minute, obviously Ray Lewis, and I'm not going to diminish Ray Lewis's his greatness. JJ Watt had his 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
When it's all over with, Aaron Donald, may be, not maybe, if he stopped right now, he's first ballot, undisputed Hall of Famer. But I'm talking about greatest ever kind of argument that you would make. We're getting into that with him now, as far as game records, at that position specifically.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and like you said last week, the position's not pretty. It's not a 10 sack a year position. It's more of clogging the run lanes, actually putting pass rush on and allowing other guys to get around. So yeah, no, I would say that for sure.
Creating incredible disruption for the middle of offensive lines, and that creates incredible disruption for and we learned that with Matabike playing great this year and Pierce, right? When you clog up that lane, we go back to winning the Super Bowl here 20 years ago with Saragusa and Sam Adams. You clog that up, but he's worse than that. He literally, every offensive coordinator since he's been in the league has to figure him out, or it's going to be a long afternoon for your offense.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Well, I hope the Ravens figure that out as well this week. Christian Horton figures it out up there. They do all sorts of specials. They do great stuff. We had Amy on the show. I loved having Amy on. Loved having you on, being up there with Jonathan last week. Tell everybody what they're going to find up there. And we talked last week about Christmas specials, all sorts of holiday specials, and big plans for New Year's up there as well.
Yeah, no, like you said, we constantly have specials going on, daily promotions going on, whether on tables, slots. At the sports book, our monthly promotion is play and eat promotion, where if you bet $100 or more at the sports book counter, you get a $15 dining credit to our sports book, our sports book restaurant. And so you can eat up there. Like I said, they have daily specials up there, great crab cakes, great burgers, really great TVs up there where you can watch many different games, college football, college basketball that's in that season now, or if you're just up there on Sunday, watch all the football games. So yeah, like I said, we have a lot going on, and it's just really really good time up there.
Appreciate you, brother, and we will get together again next week. Hey, man, you're the professional. You're the sportsbook manager. And, you should be beating a washed-up sports radio show host after 32 years. Christian Horton can be found up at Hollywood Casino in Perryville. I appreciate you coming around, especially in your day off. Thanks for spending a little time with us, pal. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you.
All right, we're going to see him next week. We're going to be giving away these Maryland Lottery scratch-offs, same ones we gave away last week in his casino. We had some winners. I had a $10 winner earlier at State Fair this week. We were at Coco's. We were at Gertrude's. We were at Hollywood Casino in Perryville. Next week, we are at Curio Wellness and our friends at Far and Daughter in Timonium next Friday, the 15th. We're going to be at Wise Markets in Honeygo for Christmas week. I'm setting that date up. And then we're going to be at Fadley's to end the year on the 28th of December in the morning. Got some great guests. Going to be our last broadcast from Fadley's at Lexington Market as they move into the new market the second week of January. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive in my lousy football picks.